What if the most powerful chapter in a country music legend's story happened long before the spotlight found them? Long before the applause, the hits, and the rebel label? That's exactly the case with Jessi Colter, the woman whose story begins, not with fame, but with quiet faith, personal loss, and the strength to stand beside one of music's wildest icons, Waylon Jennings. Together, they didn't just change country music, they rewrote its rules entirely. But behind the outlaw image and gritty duets was a woman who carried secrets, fought personal demons, and disappeared from the spotlight in search of something far more profound than fame. This is the untold journey of Jessi Colter. Born Miriam Johnson in 1943, she grew up in a strict Pentecostal household in Phoenix, Arizona. Her mother was a preacher and pianist, and their home was filled with gospel music, faith, and a strong sense of right and wrong. But even as a child, Miriam questioned the boundaries of her world. A tragic loss, her brother Paul's death, shattered her foundation and planted deep emotional and spiritual uncertainties. That pain would later surface in her music. Despite her devotion, she knew her path wouldn't be found in a church pulpit, it was somewhere else, guided by a different kind of calling. By her late teens, she was already performing in local clubs, her voice catching the attention of audiences and industry insiders alike. At just 18, she married famed guitarist Eddy, and for a time, it seemed she'd found her way into the music scene. But that marriage turned out to be more shadow than spotlight. Her role was silent, her dreams postponed. When the relationship fell apart in 1968, Miriam was left a single mother, emotionally bruised, but not broken. That's when she made the most radical decision of her life. She reinvented herself. She became Jessi Colter, a name with fire, freedom, and Western grit. And with that, she carved her own path into the music world. Jessi rejected Nashville's polished perfection. She was drawn to something raw and real, what would become known as the outlaw country movement. Her early songs didn't top the charts, but they pierced the heart, honest, spiritual, grieving, defiant, and they caught the ears of artists who valued truth over flash. One of those artists was Waylon Jennings. When Jessi met Waylon, it wasn't just a musical partnership, it was the start of a love story defined by both brilliance and chaos. They married in 1969, and for over 30 years, Jessi stood by his side as he battled fame, addiction, and the expectations of a music industry he refused to obey. At his worst, Jennings was spending $1,000 a day on drugs. Jessi wasn't just a bystander, she was his anchor. In the early 1980s, when Waylon decided to quit cold turkey, he chose not a rehab clinic, but the solitude of the Arizona desert. Jessi was with him every second, praying, watching, and supporting as he fought to reclaim his life. No doctors, no safety net. Just two people, isolated in silence, wrestling with decades of pain, and somehow, he pulled through. It was Jessi's unwavering faith, the kind forged in childhood hymns and personal heartbreak, that helped guide him. And though their journey was filled with pain, it was also rich with resilience. Their love was messy, complicated, and real. They raised his son, shared the stage, and built a partnership that survived addiction, legal troubles, and personal doubt. While Waylon dominated headlines for both brilliance and controversy, like his 1977 drug bust or walking out of the We Are the World recording, Jessi stayed grounded. Her music career wasn't always in the spotlight, but her voice never lost its power. In a world dominated by men, she stood out not as a sidekick, but as a force of her own. After Waylon's death, Jessi quietly stepped away from the spotlight. Many wondered why, but perhaps after years of survival, loyalty, and living in the eye of a storm, she had found peace in silence. Maybe the woman who helped hold a legend together needed time to hold herself. Jessi Colter's story isn't just about music, it's about identity, sacrifice, endurance, and the cost of standing in someone else's shadow until the world finally sees your light. And that's why, here at Hollywood Star News, we celebrate legends like Jessi, not just for what they gave to music, but for the strength they showed behind the scenes. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more untold Hollywood stories. Thanks for watching.